My name is Blake Ellis. I serve as your fire operations manager. This is your Monday morning briefing. Today is Monday, July 21st. To get us started here, we're going to do a quick roll call. Let's see here. Do we have anyone on from Northwest Oregon area?
Hey, Blake, Robbie Lefebvre, Assistant Area Director for Northwest.
Hey, Robbie, thanks for joining. Do we have anyone from Southern Oregon area?
Good morning, Blake. Dave Larson here, Southern Oregon area director.
Hey, Dave, thank you. And Eastern Oregon area?
Good morning, Gina Miner, Assistant Area Director for EOA.
Hey, Gina. What about the aviation unit?
Morning, Blake. Jamie Knight, State Aviation Operations Specialist.
Thank you, Jamie. And then safety.
Morning, Blake. Eric Panetta, Safety Consultant, ODF.
Thank you, Eric. And TZA, do we got you?
Yeah. Good morning, Blake.
All right, TZA, I'm going to kick it over to you to give us a fire weather update and let us know what's going on in the state.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Today's July 21st, Monday, and we will go through the fire weather and potential briefing. So you may have felt we've got a short breather. We'll take a look at big picture systems and fronts coming through, but we do have thunderstorm potential. Take a good look at that. And then Northwest Coordination Center's significant fire potential. And then we'll go through the quick glance temperatures through the week, the relative humidity, and the winds. And the precip, there's not a lot going through the week, so I just tacked it onto the relative humidity slide to save time. And then we'll do a good drought check plus, and then go through the fire danger indices, real quick checkup on those. And then we'll take a look at the what's in store here coming up, 6 to 10 day outlooks from the National Weather Service, and the monthly and the seasonal. And then we'll remind ourselves what we're dealing with the National Significant Wildland Fire Potential Outlook. So this week is a little bit out of order, trying to get to the big picture first and get the news out. So we do have this low pressure system moving into Oregon and Washington over the weekend, really Sunday night. And that's bringing some shower activity. You guys probably felt that in Northeast Oregon, hopefully. And so it's going to be with us here. But really, the reprieve is really just last night and today. But we did get some cooler temperatures, some cloud cover arriving with this upper level trough. But we do also have that thunderstorm potential. And these maps with the green kind of checkered graphic here is where that thunderstorm potential is. And then just looking at the ODF meteorology thunderstorm probabilities matrix, and I'm looking at both of them, the wet side on the left and the dry potential on the right of these two kind of matrices, these tables. And so east side, definitely looking at potential for thunderstorm activity through the week. Thursday seems to be a big day for Southern Oregon, Southwest Oregon. Probably hear more from Dave Larson on that. But anyway, there's potential for moisture here, but the National Weather Service precipitation dailies didn't show a lot of moisture. So we'll just keep hoping that there's more moisture than not. And so Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday on the right side of this chart, this slide is showing that convective outlook. So it's really kind of east side and into Southern Oregon there. Northwest Coordination Center is highlighting that potential for significant lightning in Northwest Predictive Service Area 7 and Northwest 12, which is that kind of the Southern Oregon area and Southeast Oregon area. And what I've done is highlighted on Thursday on the map on the left and the table on the right, so you can see kind of where these predictive services areas are. So some more hints on potential impacts as we go through this presentation. So just a quick glance through the temperatures. We've had the reprieve last night and today, and a little bit left over on Tuesday. We start to warm back up on Wednesday going through the week, but then another Kind of the remnants of this low system is going to be circling down in Northern California, off the coast of Northern California, and continuing to plague us with some thunderstorm activity. So temperatures are a little bit better. We got a little bit of a breather here. Thank goodness for that. Humidity, another breather. East side 30s and up, west side 40s and up. But Wednesday starts to kind of dry out again a little bit, and then maybe come back in with some more moisture as we head into the weekend. So on the National Weather Service graphical forecast, Monday is kind of that strongest shower potential. So maybe this afternoon we'll get some more, hopefully in Northeast Oregon. And then it mentions also that Thursday and Saturday, Thursday through Saturday for Southeast Oregon. Winds, trying to include this a little bit more, may or may not be useful for folks, but just to kind of get an idea where the massive winds and gusts are. And for this week, it's the usual story here with the gorge winds. They're going to tick up on Thursday, gusts in the 20s, but overall kind of really benign except for the thunderstorm outflows. So drought, just taking a look here, the whole state's abnormally dry, and some areas have gone into, like Northeast Oregon, they're going into extreme drought there, big swaths of area in severe drought. So it didn't take very long for this to take hold again. And just monitoring that soil moisture over the last several weeks, that west side and then that area of Pendleton up into Northeast is just super, super dry. Last briefing, our evaporative demand was a lot worse on the west side of Oregon, especially, but now it's a lot better, except for Northeast. So hopefully they'll get some of that moisture coming through, some cooler temperatures. The drought is persistent and expected to persist through the rest of the season. So we're right back in the thick of the drought situation. So take a look at the significant fire potential map with ODF, and this, of course, looks at climatological history, fire history, and large fire costs for all of our districts. Our Fire Environment Working Group guys put this together and develop these thresholds for when we get into low, moderate, high, very high, or extreme potential for large, costly fires. And right now, it's just showing high potentials. But they're all forecasted to decrease. Northwest Oregon actually bumped back down into moderate. So we're back down to kind of averages. So we'll take a look at the ERCs and the large fuel moistures. So the ERCs, just kind of going around the state, picking some random places, Northwest Oregon, Western Lane, and Southwest Oregon again this week. And you can see the red line is this year's data coming in daily. And you can barely see there's a purple line after the red that shows that we're on the decrease on the ERCs, back down to kind of average, which is good news nonetheless. And the same thing for the Dalles, Prineville Sisters, and Northeast Oregon, kind of watching Northeast Oregon really closely. But the Dalles is coming back down to high, and Prineville Sisters seems to be in better shape right now. And Northeast Oregon, again, coming down with this systems coming through. Large fuel moistures are coming up a little bit, back up to average. So we're okay for the season there. And the Dalles down to minimums, and they're finally going to come back up. And Prineville Sisters and Northeast Oregon as well, just shooting right back up. Hopefully this moisture does materialize with the thunderstorm activity this week. So just an encouraging slide here for the temperature side, at least. So we are in that below normal temperatures right now. And this kind of takes us through the end of July. Of course, these are what the Pacific Northwest Weather Watch guy says is fantasy forecast land, but it's a little bit of good news here. We can take a breather at least. And the precipitation above average again for Northeast, it would be nice. But we're still in the thick of it here. We still got August to get through, and we're right back up to above normal temperatures. Maybe not as bad on the west side. And you've noticed we haven't had any massively long, intense, ferocious heat domes in the last couple of weeks here. And so we've lucked out there, and we just keep our eyes peeled and keep bracing for impact. But been in okay shape. And then we've still got to get through September and October as well. And this is what we've been dealing with July and then August. Just a reminder of this is kind of where we're at. The next issuance of this will come out August 1st, around there. And so in summary, we've got that potential for large costly fires are backing down to average. Fuel moistures are coming up to average, but the drought's still setting in. We've got this short breather in temperatures, but the thunderstorm potential is happening through the week, especially with the peak heating in the afternoons. There's some precip, hopefully more than what I've seen on some of the forecasts, and then gusty outflow winds as usual with the thunderstorm activity. And just a special note from Northwest Coordination Center that we're, expect these additional lightning caused fire ignitions, but that spread's going to be a lower threat as fire danger gradually drops. So that ferocity is instantly level 3 evacuation type. Maybe we'll luck out this week on that. All right, Blake, thank you so much.
Yeah, wonderful job there, TZA. Truly appreciate all the work that you put into building these presentations weekly. It's very much appreciated. All right, we're going to move to our current fire situation, currently showing a national preparedness level of 4, a regional preparedness level of 3, and again, that's Oregon and Washington, and an ODF fire activity level of 4. Currently showing 6 uncontained large fires in Oregon and 5 in Washington, and showing 1 National Incident Management Organization deployed within the region, as well as 8 CIMTs within the region. 4 of those are deployed in Oregon. There's also 1 OSFM team deployed within the state. In terms of ODF IMTs deployed, kind of a wash, rinse, repeat of last week. Team 1 is still on the Elk/Hagelstein fire, and Team 3, since last meeting, picked up a new fire. They remain on the Grizzly and now Board Shanty fires. Current fire statistics to date showing, let's see here, 422 human-caused fires on ODF protection for 10,000 plus acres, 111 lightning fires for a little over 2,000 acres, and a total of 533 fires for 12,300 acres. Statewide, we are showing 681 fires for 135,240 acres, that's human-caused, 367 lightning fires for 9,277 acres, with a total of 1,048 fires for 144,525 acres. There are various fires that are updated in your agenda that was posted to the invite. I'm not going to get into every specifics or every specificity on those fires. I will leave that to the areas to update as they determine. I am going to get into the area updates now, and I'm going to start with Northwest Oregon area. Robbie.
Hey, Blake. Thank you, everyone. My name is Robbie Lefebvre. I'm the Assistant Area Director for Northwest Oregon area. So I'll start with accidents and injuries. And so we have no new injuries to report. Shifting over to the industrial fire protection levels, you'll hear that said as IFPL. So IFPL is 1 along the coast, IFPL 2 across the rest of the area. You can see that on the map there. Going to public use restrictions, we're low in West Oregon 1, moderate in West Oregon 2, and Northwest 1, and high elsewhere. Resources currently out of the area. So currently Northwest has 70 people outside of the area on fire across the state. So we are at drawdown levels. For severity needs, it is nice we're able to send that many people out because we have South Fork available, and South Fork is there for our initial attack across the area. So we are pre-po them across with severity money, and that's really great. For fuels and conditions, it's dry and there's no rain in the forecast. So we just ask the public to be really vigilant, especially if they're in shooting lanes, because we had a couple of fires at some shooting lanes over the weekend that we had to take care of and just realize that that's a real thing. And then just topics of interest here is just continue to be kind to yourself. You all know me. I've been doing this for 5 years. This is how I always end my talks. So if you have a chance to take some time, even for yourself, if it's just 5 minutes a day and all you do is breathe, it's worth it, because we need you to be here. And then look out for each other. We still have a long way to go. It's, mid-July. And the most important thing that you can all do is come home. So look out for each other, be safe, and, we've still got a bit to go. End of report.
Thank you, Robbie. And I personally appreciate your focus on mental health and wellness. So thank you for that. We're going to move to Southern Oregon area next. Dave.
Good morning, everyone. Dave Larson, Southern Oregon Area Director. No accidents or injuries to report on ODF or association personnel. We did have a few minor injuries on the board shanty on some contract crews, poison oak, hydration, heat-related illness, and one rattlesnake bite. All personnel there were treated and they're doing fine. With the change in the weather, the ERCs are starting to trend downwards. We're still seeing high fire danger across the area with IFPL level 2 in the valley, 1 on the coast, with the exception of being a IFPL 3 over at DFPA. IA over the weekend was light with the largest fire on DFPA just to the west of Elkton off of Highway 38. That fire was stopped at 1 acre in size and the cause was from a motor vehicle accident. Large fire update. ODF Team 3 has been doing some really good work on the Grizzly Complex, and they also took over on Thursday the Board Shanty fire. They caught that fire at 469 acres at this time. It is 100% lined, and it's about 75 foot mopped in inside the perimeter, and they're working on achieving another 100 feet, hopefully today with the changing weather conditions. We will be transitioning both Grizzly and the Board Shanty fire back to the local district tomorrow morning at 0700. And Southwest Oregon District will be taking that one over. Issues or concerns for the upcoming week is just the warming and drying trend. We are going to see temperatures get back in the mid-90s down here in Southern Oregon, and looking at RHs to drop, and then that chance of thunderstorms that TZA was talking about in that Thursday or Friday timeframe. That is the end of the report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you, Dave. No questions. We're going to move to Gina in EOA.
Good morning, everyone. Gina Miner, Assistant Area Director for Eastern Oregon area. I have no accidents or injuries to report for EOA. Across EOA, Central Oregon District, Klamath Lake District, and Northeast Oregon District are all in high fire danger, with Walker Range being in extreme. Currently, we have IFPL 3 in MH1 and IFPL 2 in MH4. Across the area over the last week, we have responded to 29 fires on our protection and our partners. And with this lightning in the forecast coming up, we expect those numbers to increase. Fires of note in EOA, we have the Elk Fire in the Klamath Lake District at 2,640 acres with 88% containment. And near that fire is the Hagelstein Fire, 672 acres with 45% containment. And ODF Team 1 is in command of both of those fires. The largest fire in EOA is the Cram Fire, just outside of the city of Madras in Central Oregon District, which is 95,736 acres, and it is currently sitting at 73% containment. This fire right here was a true testament of the complete and coordinated system working with ODF, BLM, Forest Service, OSFM, RFPAs, and other agencies coming together to fight as one team and put great work into that fire. That fire is currently under a CIMT organization, and they are also in charge of the Butte Creek Fire just outside of Warm Springs right there. And I just want to say a special thank you to everyone involved on that fire. A small highlight from EOA is that all of our severity air resources that we host in the area have been involved in all of our fires and have been a great key to our successes so far. Also, the RFPAs in EOA have responded to 7 fires since our last briefing, with the largest being the Cram Fire. Multiple RFPAs were engaged on that fire, and they continue to be a great asset to our initial attack. Lastly, I just want to say a thank you to all of the employees in EOA and all of the employees that come to EOA to help us and maintain a good safety record and do amazing work. And thank you to all of our partners as always, and I hope you guys have a great day.
All right, thank you, Gina. Really do appreciate that update. Moving to crew resource availability, currently showing 452 crews available, with 60 deployed on various fires, including Board Shanty, Cram, Hagelstein, Grizzly, Elk, etc. Next, we will move to the aviation update with Jamie Knight.
Good morning, Jamie Knight, State Aviation Operations Specialist. All 18 Severity Program aircraft have been heavily engaged in suppression efforts across the state. To date, Severity aircraft have flown 422 hours, 24 since the last briefing. Severity aircraft have completed 1,077 bucket drops and have delivered 796,007 gallons of water. Call when needed aircraft have flown 327 hours, completed 582 bucket drops, and have delivered 231,620 gallons of water. Our retardant reload bases across the state have filled aircraft with 173,312 gallons of retardant for delivery to incidents across the state. This season is shaping up to be a historical high for our ODF reload bases. A huge thanks to our seat managers and retardant crews for making this possible. To provide context on the aircraft statistics, the 10-year average for total season flight hours for the Severity aircraft is 1,058. We are at 40% of the historical average currently, and I anticipate we will meet or exceed the average flight hours this season. The agency multi-mission aircraft is still unavailable due to maintenance. To address this, the agency has a call when needed multi-mission aircraft tail number November 88 November pre-positioned in Prineville to ensure the agency has consistent access to this critical resource. Competition for call when needed resources is currently high. To date, the agency has been successful in filling orders for large fires, but as activity continues to increase across the western states, Type 1 and Type 2 helicopters will be difficult to find. In addition, there is a continued shortage of qualified aircraft managers nationwide. We currently have aircraft managers from out of state who have been critical to helping us fill early season gaps in management. Unless there's questions, that's the end of my report.
I'll stand by for questions. All right, not hearing any. Thank you, Jamie. Really do appreciate all the work that the aviation unit has done. Moving to safety, Eric, do we still got you?
Yes, good morning, Blake. Eric Panetta, safety consultant, ODF. Last week we had 4 vehicle incidents, 3 injuries, and 1 first aid for a total of 8. We're tracking as the same period last year on all of those. Again, let's make sure that we're using backers. We're having an uptick in backing accidents, and let's make sure that we're keeping our heads on a swivel, watching for rocks coming down, and watching our footing. And that is all on safety, unless we got questions.
Any questions for Eric? Not hearing any. You're off the hook, man. Thank you. All right, we're going to shift now to our Chief of Fire Protection for the Department of Forestry, Michael Curran.
Yeah, thanks, Blake. I think TZA is spot on. Kind of the name of the game right now is we have this quick breather with the moisture we're receiving in some parts of the state. You know, decreased temps, increased humidities. So giving our folks a chance to make some headway on current fires on the landscape. And also allowing staff to be able to get a little bit of downtime. So just asking for folks to be able to take advantage of that if you're able to. We are going to get back to hot and dry conditions, especially with that lightning on the back end of this week. So please take advantage of that breather as we currently have it, especially with that early start and busy start to July that we've seen. So also do want to give a shout out to ODF Team 1, ODF Team 3. We're on a current pathway to get those teams both back home and rested up, and hopefully have 3 teams in the barn by this weekend and early next week. So just want to thank them for the work they've done on their fires. Also want to give them a shout out. You know, we're one of 4 states that are able to house incident management teams, and that's a big deal. And really just a testament to how good our folks are and how professional they are. You know, both those fires with both teams, you know, they went in there with one mission, and then throughout, just due to circumstances outside their control, we're asked to take additional fires, and not all incident management teams are able to do that as quickly, as seamlessly as our 2 teams did. So just want to thank them for their work and their willingness to be able to help out the local districts there. Definitely takes a large workload off the local staff. So just a huge shout out to them, and ask for them to close out their assignment safely and get home safely as well. So with that, again, just take advantage of the cooler weather that we've got right now, because we're going to be back in the thick of it by the end of this week, probably with that lightning that's coming. So thanks, folks.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I'm not a betting man, but I'm thinking we're probably going to have a briefing next week. So Brooke and Michael will keep everyone informed as we move forward. Thank you all for attending, and have a great week.